Hi everyone, it's that time of the month. Not that kind of time of the month. I don't know why I said it like that. It's the end of the month. It is the end of October, and that means it's time for our October wrap up. So this month I only read 5 books, I believe. Out on my Notion. Just one moment. Just one moment, y'all. I should say I finished 5 books in October. I have a lot of books that I'm in the middle of right now, but we'll get to that later. So I have 3 physical books that I finished this month, one on my Kindle and one that was an audiobook. So the first 2 books that I finished in the month of October, if you watched my Dollar Tree video, these were the first 2 books that I read. I started that video at the end of September going into the first week of October. So these are the 2 books I read. Just to recap, the first book I read was Sisters of Shadow and Light, and I rated this a 4.25. I'm not going to go too much into depth with this one. If you want to see like my full review, I talk about it in my Dollar Tree video, but yes, I got this book at the Dollar Tree and it was really good. Also, I really want to read the sequel. I don't know when I will, but I definitely will be reading the sequel. The second book that I read in the month of October is Only a Breath Apart. This was also featured in my Dollar Tree video. I gave this a 3.75 star rating, and I did like it. It just wasn't my favorite. I would definitely recommend to anyone looking for an emotional young adult read. The third book that I finished in the month of October was Addicted to You. Now this was a book I had started back in August, and yes, I finally finished it in October. I gave this a 3.5 star rating, and I kept going back and forth with this book because it was for the first like 40 pages, I believe, or was it 140 pages? I think it was 140 pages. Like, I was not into it like that much. I couldn't really like the characters, but honestly, like, I don't know if they're supposed to be very likable in the beginning of the series. So we have Lily and Lo. I'm sure you've heard of this series. People love this series. People love these characters so much. So of course I did want to check it out and kind of understand why everyone likes this series so much. But like I said, in the beginning, it was really hard for me to get into. I could only read like a chapter at a time and then I would put it down. I didn't want to DNF it though, so I just like read it here and there, and then I picked it up again and it started getting really good. I was a lot more interested in what was happening to the characters, and I finished it. So I give it a 3.5 rating because of the way the characters progress through this story. I know this is a very long series and there's more to come after, but like the way it started off wasn't really my favorite, but I liked seeing the progression of the characters through the story. I liked the introduction of Reich and Connor, and I really want to see their stories. And I did like the ending of this book. I was iffy on like if I was going to finish the series because like I said, it's a lot of books. But I really want to see Connor and Rose, so I think I might keep going maybe until I get to their book, and I'll decide if I want to keep reading the series. Let me know if you've read Addicted to You. I know a lot of people have, and let me know what you thought of it, if I should keep reading the series. Let me know your thoughts. And the 4th book that I finished in October was Mockingjay, which is the 3rd and last book in the Hunger Games trilogy. I listened to this on audiobook. And it definitely took me a while to get through as well. I think when it comes to trilogies and like series or like dystopian series, I feel like I'm always into like the first book, maybe the second book a little more than like towards the ending. I always love the first book, especially in like dystopian stories, because that's when like the most action happens and like you're trying to figure out the world that's going on and all of that stuff. So I have to say I did love the Hunger Games the most out of all 3 books. Mockingjay, I gave it a 3-star rating. I think I just wasn't as interested in the story, and like I said, I listened to it on audiobook and I tend to space out for some parts, and I feel like I didn't get the full experience of reading the book through my audiobook, which is totally my fault because there are some books that like work so well on audiobook for me, and some books I have a harder time following. I'm definitely glad I like read the series because I really do love the first book. I'm really excited to now watch the last 2 movies in the franchise. Yeah, but like I said, I noticed like when it comes to like dystopian stories, I usually like the first book or first movie first. I'm thinking about Divergent. I think I liked the first movie the most out of all of them. And then and also The Maze Runner. I love the first movie. The second and third were okay, and I've also yet to read those as well. Except for Shatter Me. Shatter Me, well, it's not a trilogy, it's a longer book series, but I really loved like the middle books for that series. So that was the only outlier I can think of in terms of dystopian books. And with The Fifth Wave, I loved the first book the most. What other dystopians have I read? I don't know, but those are the ones that come to mind. Let me know if you can relate to that, because I feel like you could just tell the way that those stories move along. The first book is like the most like mysterious like one. Like you learn a lot about what's going on with the characters. You learn more about the world, and then like that book ends off with like a realization, and then you see the next part. And I feel like towards the end, for me, I just don't get I'm not as interested. Anyways, the last book that I read in the month of October was The Love Rematch, and this was an arc that I got through NetGalley, and I actually really liked it. I thought it was really cute. It's really like The Bachelor or Bachelorette in book form. So we have our main character, I can't remember her name, but her mom basically gets her onto a dating show where she has a bunch of bachelors to date and choose from, and we find out her ex is working on the set of that show. That's basically the premise. It's a second chance romance. It's pretty funny. I think for me, the reason why I only gave it a 3-star rating was that there was just so many characters, which makes sense because she's like meeting all of these guys, but I felt like I couldn't keep up with all the characters and all the different connections she was making. But it was enjoyable, it was funny. I just felt like it was so detailed in terms of like the other characters that like felt like I didn't need to know that much about them like as the story moved on. I did like towards the end they were only focusing on like 3 guys like total. It was a lot easier to follow, but like I said, I felt like there was a lot of chapters that were so focused on other characters that I just like wasn't that interested. I was just like, let's keep going. Like we already kind of know what's gonna happen, and I want to see that happen. I don't want to see her like on other dates with these other guys. But I did think, you know, it was funny, it was cute, and it was like a light read, and I definitely recommend it if you're looking for something like that, especially if you love watching reality TV. And that's it. Those are the 5 books that I finished in October. And I wanted to update y'all on the books that I'm currently reading. I can usually only read like 2 books at the same time, but this month I was just like, let's start another book. Let's start another book. First book that I'm in the middle of right now is Twilight, and this is I'm listening to on audiobook, and it's going really well. I thought I was going to switch back between physical and audiobook, but I have so many physical books going on, so I think I might just keep it on audiobook, but I do want to experience reading the physical book because I have it. So updates to follow for that. I'm a little over halfway in that book, and I'm really enjoying it actually. Like I never actually finished reading the book when I was in middle school, so this is really like a first experience for me. The second book that I'm reading is Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and oh my god guys, I'm loving it so much. I just got halfway last night. I am filming a reading vlog for that book, so you will be seeing that soon and seeing my reactions and my thoughts on that book. But right now I can tell you that I'm loving it so much. And my next book I'm reading is Killer Instinct, which is the second book in the Natural series. I'm not that far into that one, but I am enjoying it. I wish I could dedicate more time to that, but I am really into Twilight and Powerless right now, so I kind of want to finish those and then go to Killer Instinct. And then the last book I'm in the middle of is Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief. I think I started that at the end of August or the beginning of September, and I just put that down because I have all these other fun books I'm reading, but I will get to it, and I'm really hoping to finish that book for November. Just a reminder that I know it's very easy to compare yourself to other people who are reading a lot more books than you, but whatever many books that you read, that's fine. Whenever I go on like Bookstagram, I'll see like people reading like 20 books a month, and I'm like, how is that possible, right? And I know everyone has like different daily lives and everything, and you should give yourself that same grace, understanding that you shouldn't compare yourself to how many books other people are reading, and you read at your own pace. Because I feel like when I read at my own pace, I enjoy my books so much more. If I'm like really dumbing it down to the numbers and being like, I need to finish this book by tomorrow so I can read another book before the end of the week, it gets like very stressful, and we don't want that. We don't want reading to be stressful. Reading's supposed to stay fun. Don't compare yourself. If you read 1 book this month, that's amazing. If you read 10 books, that's amazing. If you read 20 books, that's amazing. As long as you enjoyed it, I think it's so worth it to just give yourself grace. Thank you guys for tuning into my video and listening to me ramble about the books I read in October. I will see you guys in my next video. I'm gonna bring in Lucy for the